You're listening to 106.1 Revelstoke's Easy Rock. It's shaping up to be another incredible winter here in Revelstoke, and the team from Holmlands are in town speaking to local members of the Revelstoke community to go behind the scenes of the resort and get to know the people that make the place.
We had just started the idea of someone as a clothing company when we were moving out to Revelstoke. So we brought our printing presses and stuff out, and this is where we kind of kicked off what someone is. Kind of started out as a bit of a snowboard thing, but after we lived in Revelstoke for a few years and saw all the amazing people doing all the cool things that everyone does here, you can't just stick to one group or anything like that. So we opened it up as a mountain lifestyle brand. Living our life well lived is being here, doing the things we want to do as an everyday occurrence. You come out here and that's what you do as your life. As a dad and business owner, it's definitely different than I maybe expected it to be. Trying to sneak work in there, trying to start businesses, trying to maintain relationships and then still have fun in life is busy in Revelstoke. We do work with a lot of the local businesses in town under the Integrated Apparel company. So what Integrated does is it's basically promotional products, custom branding, screen printing, embroidery, stuff like that. Being an entrepreneur in Revelstoke has been great. Probably the most rewarding thing is being able to have these staff work here and still enjoy their lives, give them enough of that outside of work. You still try and sneak in a little bit of fun when you can. You can get out with some of the guys from work. They definitely like to sneak out in the morning, get a few laps in. I try and join them when I can. Get up, at least get a couple warm-up laps. On a nice sunny morning, it's hard to pass up, right? That's kind of why we're here. That's why we're doing this business. You don't have to be at work for 9 a.m. After we get in a few laps on the hill, make our way down, get back to work. The boys will print up some shirts and we can still have our orders delivered by the end of the day. We'll load them up, hand deliver them to people here close in town, so it works out great.
My name's Greg Hill. I'm a professional adventurer. I've lived in Revelstoke for 20 years and I moved here for the mountains and the snow because it was untapped. With mountains as far as you can see, that a lot of the stuff had never been skied or played in, and I was like, wow, this is it. For years my challenges were all physical, and now I'm past my peak as an athlete. I'm 43. So, now my adventures are evolving. I'm at a new phase in my life where I'm looking to do good with my actions, I guess, and kind of give back a bit more to others. I knew that there was this disconnect where I was loving and appreciating nature, but then I was accessing it in a negative way. So I was like, wow, electric cars, cool. I could actually access all these trips without burning fossil fuels. The idea to me was I live in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of nowhere. And if I could live my life and prove that you can travel far, it would show that anybody, anywhere could adopt to these electrical cars. I feel like explorers or adventurers should be the ones that are leading the way. I was like, okay, let's use my voice and let's influence good.
It's an amazingly inspiring group of people who are standing behind POW Canada. I look back on my career and I'm just so grateful for all of the experiences I've had that have given me an appreciation for the outdoors and a love for nature. Having my son definitely awakened me to the impact that my experiences have had on the environment, and so it's motivated me a lot to get involved with this organization.
When I look back at my career in the mountains, I've always been a lover of nature, and I've always tried to figure out how I could be a steward for it. And there wasn't a lot of options 10 years ago in terms of what you could do, and not as much of a movement. I definitely have changed a lot since then, but that person created who I am now.
Working with Protect Our Winters Canada in Revelstoke, we've got our own chapters, but what we've been doing is we've been talking to the kids at the school, we've been talking to all the different companies and trying to figure out what we can do, because everybody's concerned right now.
I think both Izzy and I, because we're parents, is you look at your own legacy and what you've been doing, and you recognize the things you've been doing wrong and that you want to do better for them. And I definitely, they've been the impetus for me to change and for you to change, and it really is. You recognize your responsibility to them, and that's so important.
All the businesses in town, we all know that we're not being great and we all care, so we're all working together to figure out the solutions.
What's interesting about Protect Our Winters is how it can have a kind of more of a global influence on people, and showing them that, one, that it's important to care, that it's cool to care. It's about progressing and not perfection, and that's huge.
I'd love it if we just got to a point where the movement was so strong that when anybody was coming to Revelstoke as a tourist, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to that town that cares. There's a great local vibe here where we're all happy people who are interested in everybody else, and it's really great.
Tina! Yeah, Tina!
Being a police officer in a small town, it's quite different. There's lots of responsibilities. You really do have to set a good example in the community. It's my role as a police officer just to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to be safe. I just see it as what I signed up to do. There's a great sense of pride when you wear the red shirt. We only wear it usually on ceremonial dress, so it would be Canada Day or Remembrance Day. But it is, yeah, a huge sense of pride when you wear that. I first started skiing with my family back in Ontario. Skiing is something that I've always liked. I've loved it here in Revelstoke before I was a police officer, and it's just an absolute bonus that I'm here and I still get to do this. So I'm extremely grateful, and just to get out and be able to enjoy the mountains. It's very much a build your own adventure town. It's almost therapeutic out there. Usually starts with checking the snow report, but for me it's always looking out the window first thing in the morning. And the next step is seeing if the gnome is snowed in. That's one of the coolest things they have at this mountain. Norm the snow gnome, and it's on a webcam, and he gets buried in snow. It's the best indicator. One of the things I like about Revelstoke is the tree skiing. There's tons of different terrain. It's quite steep and challenging. The faster you go in the trees, the more challenging it gets. My background in skiing was also mental preparedness for me. A lot of visualization, seeing things before they happen. I see that, I use that as a skier, and those skills are very transferable as a police officer, and they only help me succeed on the mountain and off the mountain.
I am one with my paddle and one with my canoe. I am one with the water and one with Mother Earth and one with all that is beautiful, for we are all alive. I'm Bill Pollock. I'm 84 years old. I was born in Montreal, Quebec, and lived most of my life there. Our kids decided to move west, and eventually we followed them. It's very important to be close to family and watch them grow up. Living in Quebec, I did quite a bit of work for a school, taking kids into the outdoors. We were guiding on canoe trips for multi-days and hiking, so I developed an interest in the outdoors. This teacher that I worked with, he got me into the ski marathon. No problem, he said, it's only 160 kilometers, you'll enjoy it. I've done 16 gold Coeur de Bois, which means skiing the whole distance and carrying all your gear to be able to camp out overnight. I've always done canoeing. That's my other favorite sport. I knew of Lake Revelstoke, and I should go and paddle that. I do a lot of solo paddling. I was actually amazed with the clearness of the water and the astounding scenery. I just love the idea of paddling, the movement of the canoe through the water. It's just, you're so free, and I know, there's something about it that's very spiritual and sometimes very emotional. With bringing up the kids, we did canoe trips every year, just because I felt that education isn't sitting in a classroom. It also involves getting out into nature. That was my philosophy. My father curled a lot in his days, and he got me curling also. And coming here, and I saw there's a curling club, I said, oh, I'm going to join that. So, and making a lot of friends too here, which is really important. I enjoy sweeping and, and throwing the stones. I'm quite sure that keeping physically fit has helped me to live longer. Being out in nature is what I love.
I went to rehab in 2017, and that's where my journey kind of started. There was just a lot of trauma based around when I was younger. When I was being bullied, I felt like I didn't belong, that I wasn't worth anything. I was 8 years old and I looked down from the Yellow Silhouette Bridge and I looked down at the river. And I thought if I jumped, would anyone miss me? So my dad, Jack, mental health, it was something to him, but it was also I got mainly that toughen up message from him, which is why I'm so thankful that we're so much more open about mental health and getting rid of that stigma now. It needs to be talked about, otherwise people don't get that help. I had been living in Calgary. I can't blow it up in rainbows and butterflies. I was addicted to alcohol and I was addicted to cocaine. And then my dad got sick. He ended up with a tumor in his left lung and I was not coping well. Within that month, he just declined and he passed peacefully on Canada Day. Yeah, it was hard. I'll always remember that day because this person is your hero. Your father is supposed to be there forever. You know, he's supposed to walk you down the aisle. He's supposed to meet your grandchildren and teach them the same lessons that he taught you. And so I was broken, and it's, you know, a piece of me is still definitely gone, but it's, sorry. It's just really important to me now that I honor him by being better rather than, you know, feeling sorry for myself. I just knew I need to get it together in here, and so I did go to therapy, and I've been going for over a year now, and the difference is phenomenal. I absolutely love my mother. I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for her. We've become a lot more close. She never gave up on me. I think she's the best. She's my best friend, and I couldn't have wanted a different mother. But I was not a very nice person to her. That's what it always is, right? We hurt the ones we love the most. Everyone around who wants to help, they do their best, what they can. I could want to blame people, say you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right, you know, why weren't you there for me? But I wasn't even there for me. Hiking and going for a walk is a great outlet, and I have it all around me too. So I know I could just step out my front door and I can find that beauty and that peace in nature. Above my house there's a forest and there's some walking trails, and my dad used to take us up, and I feel this presence. It's almost a feeling of magic. That's when I know that he's there with me in my heart as well. And just being in nature in general is just so good for the soul.
Big Eddy Glassworks was established in 2017. The arts community, I feel like it's grown quite a bit over the last 5 years, and especially with just like bringing people out from everywhere to make art and experience art and enjoy it, and I'm doing my best to help with that. The very first time I set foot in this town, I was trying to figure out how I could actually move here and work here. As a glassblower, there are not a lot of jobs, so then I built my own shop so that I could stay in this town. I love turning molten glass into something beautiful. It's like magic, honestly. Gathering glass out of the furnace is probably one of the most mesmerizing things. So the furnace is what holds the molten glass. It's hot and it's smooth and you're gathering and you're turning and it's just, there's really nothing like it. And then the glory hole is the reheat furnace, so you're going in and out to reheat things. You're looking at the shape and you can feel the weight of the piece, and so you can feel it through your hands when you're turning. You're trying to get it to be the right temperature to do the thing you want it to do next. So whether that's heating it up in the glory hole or cooling it down when you're at the bench. When you've finished a piece, it goes in the annealing oven, and that's what cools it down after. And it cools it down slowly to eliminate stress in the glass that doesn't shatter. My favorite thing about glassblowing is making objects that are useful and beautiful. Revelstoke is such a special town, and I get to bring something ancient and beautiful to this awesome town.
The railway is in the blood of this town, and it's definitely in the blood of my family. My name is Chris Politsky. I'm 52 years old. I joined the railway in 1987. Now at the railway, I'm a locomotive engineer. I drive the trains. I guess my first memories of the railroad were both my grandparents. My mom's grandpa worked on the railway, like way back in the days of steam engines. I had quite a bad motorbike accident when I was 18. I broke my femur in 5 places, broke my knee really bad. And when I came back after 2 years of therapy, I needed a job. And the railway, you just knew the trains were here. And there's some pictures of me looking at my papa had a big train set. But it just, for so many people, it's a good job. Typical day at the railway, you drive to work, you get on the train, and it's away you go. The main stuff that CP Rail hauls through Revelstoke is kind of the lifeline of Canada, like grain, a lot of coal, Canadian Tire, cars, gases, fuels, anything like electronics, they're all on a train getting shipped across Canada. My son now works in the railway. To see my son doing what I'm doing, it's pretty cool. The change I've seen in Revelstoke, well, for one thing, we were too sleepy, too slow for too long. I'm proud to be a Revelstokean. I've lived here all my life, you know, and I've had lots of chances to move away. With our job, we could transfer out of town, and I don't want to. I love it here. There's so much to do. I like the outdoor life. I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd rather live than Revelstoke.
I first became a night groomer in 2005 in Lake Louise. I was a lifty for a season, and then I became a snowmaker, and then it just kind of naturally led into the grooming world. I thought these machines were pretty cool, so I wanted to give it a try, and I did quite a few seasons there before moving to Revelstoke. The toughest part of the job, sometimes it's just the night shift. You get tired. Snow conditions can vary, especially here. We get a lot of different kinds of snow. So you'll be doing something different every night, but that also makes it quite fun. I really enjoy doing projects, rebuilding runs, and making things nice for the skiers in the morning. That's kind of the perfectionist side in me. We work the snow with the blade. It kind of gets down into the layers a little bit, and then the tracks also work the snow as we drive over it, and then it goes through the auger on the tiller, which spins quite rapidly and goes under the finishing mats on the back of the tiller, and that's what leaves the cord. So you really can't get more behind the scenes in Revelstoke than being up in the night groomer.
It was a dream of ours to play Revelstoke for a little while. Our very first show we played outside underneath that Revelstoke dome, gazebo that says Revelstoke on it, and we played outside in January, so it was pretty cold. I don't think a lot of people were there, but we were like, we've broken into Revelstoke.
Well, after the first time we played here under the gazebo, it snowed like 56 centimeters. It was a huge pow day. And because it was an event that was part of the resort, they gave us lift tickets for the next day. So it was like one of the deepest snow days I've ever had in my life. So that was great.
Mountains and nature influence our lyrics a ton, just coming from this area.
Our energy goes in peaks and in valleys and kind of like looking at the head wall of a mountain. It's got a flow to it.
Playing in Fernie and playing in Revelstoke and playing in Nelson, we were playing to people that were in those communities to have fun. So it was all about fun.
I sing to the walls, I sing to the night, I squint my eyes in the morning light.
You're listening to 106.1 Revelstoke's Easy Rock. Thank you to the members of our local community for sharing their stories. We know this town has endless stories to tell, which is part of the beauty of Revelstoke. Until next time, take care from our adventure paradise in the Columbia Mountains.
Look into the night, the flames are burning high. Nothing left to salvage, embers in the dark. Just burnt memories of a town built on a lake. What is left? A charred landscape. Oh, passed around from one hand to the next, like a broken locket hanging round a neck. When the walls came down, its story had been told. All that's left is what never can be sold. Oh, a burning legacy, suffocating owner or the disgruntled employee. Jewel of the North, oh, everyone saw the flames. Doesn't really matter, cause what we can't build back remains. Jewel of the North, oh, everyone saw the flames. Doesn't really matter, cause what we can't build back remains. Oh, this is where they met, where it all began. Just a few strangers beckoned by the land, lured by the trees and the song of the moon. History repeating under the night watch of the moon. Oh, everyone saw the flames. Doesn't really matter, cause what we can't build back remains.